This is the Mariners POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Seattle Mariners. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Oh my good God. The Mariners are going to the ALCS. The Mariners are going to the ALCS. Yes, the Mariners are going to the ALCS after a walk-off from Jorge Polanco in the 15th inning. It's hard to put it into words, guys. Mariners win this one 3-2. I don't even know what to break down. We're going to try to do the impossible because we got to go short today. If you're listening to us on Sports Radio 950 KJR, welcome. My name's Anderson Hurst. I got Chris Crawford with me. We have a Mariners postcast. We go live right after every single Mariner baseball game. We'll have Chuck and Buck with the Baseball's Best postgame show here in the next 20 minutes or so. But Chris Crawford and I have your instant reaction, and I want to leave it open to Chris Crawford because the Mariners are going to the ALCS. What are your thoughts?
I don't know if I can do this. And this is just the ALDS. I keep telling myself that, right? This is just the chance to get the chance to get the chance of the chance. And yet it means so freaking much. And by the way, whoever said, I've earned a swear. Nope, not this time. Not this time. There might be a time at some other point where I can do it, but not this time. Oh, there were so many missed opportunities in this game, and I don't care. I don't care at all. There were some baffling, one in particular, managerial decisions, and I don't care. There was some great luck for the Mariners, some great luck for the Tigers too, right? There were pitches down the middle of the plate that both, if I was the hitting coach of both teams, you know what I would say? We're not watching this game because there's nothing we can take from it. We missed so much middle today. So much. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the Seattle Mariners are doing something that they haven't done in 24 years. The Seattle Mariners are going to play for a chance to do something that they've never done. And this is really fun.
Yeah, I'm so glad that this is not our last Mariners postcast. There was a time that I thought it might have been, honestly.
Me too.
For most of this game, I thought it would have been. But we've heard it from Dan Wilson after every single game, every single press conference, and a lot of people like to make fun of it, including myself. We battled to the end. This is the definition of battling until the end. Yeah. Not a lot of people gave the Mariners a chance against Tarik Skubal tonight. Mm-hmm. I honestly think they had better at bats against him than they did against.
They might have.
And that's considering how good he was, and he still struck him out 14 times. So,
oh my God.
They did extremely well to get him out in the sixth inning. So he only went 6 innings. Yes. My goodness. I don't even want to break down the moments. I just want to talk about the Mariners going to the ALCS and how much this means to you guys. Yeah. Really, really appreciate everyone that's here experiencing this with us, whether you're listening on the radio, on the iHeart app, or whether you are experiencing me and Chris almost breakdown here on YouTube. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm exhausted. There was a point later or earlier in the game where I was like, I'm out of emotions because I'm too tired at this point. And I would have felt it a lot, probably more if it was earlier in the game, but I'm still overwhelmingly happy that the Mariners end up pulling this one off. Jorge Polanco, after going 0 for 5, after having a ton of missed opportunities and extras from everyone, there's not a single player tonight that didn't come up big when they needed them to. So, but let's, you know what? We start with the start. I want to start with the pitching. How effing good was the pitching from top to bottom today? Top to bottom.
T to B. There's one exception, and it's Gabe Spire. Yeah. Outside of Gabe Spire, everyone was fantastic, and I don't want to be too harsh on the situation. we talked about it in our text chain, Anders, and some words were said. And I still hate the decision. I hate it. But I'm going to ignore that because George Kirby was phenomenal. And I'm going to give Dan Wilson credit. He started the right guy. Now, the guy who finished the game obviously could have started and done pretty damn well too.
I think so too.
Yeah. So there's no real complaint in that regard. But oh my gosh, Kirby was so good. I thought it was absolutely the right decision to pull him when they did, but he was so fantastic. My issue was with who they pulled him for.
Yes.
Fifth straight game, and he looked like absolute dog turds in that last one. And be curious to see how they use him, especially against a right-handed. Oh my God, we're going to talk about the ALC. Oh my God,
I know.
Oh my God,
I know.
Matt Brash was unbelievable. That's the best I've seen Matt Brash in a long time. Andres Munoz had no freaking clue where anything was going, and it didn't matter because his slider is so filthy. Logan Gilbert, oh my gosh, what a Herculean effort on 2 days rest to do that. 2 innings of shutout baseball, and the splitty was so nasty. And, if I have to give an unsung hero, and maybe we're supposed to do that, I don't. Eduard Bizardo, oh my God.
Yes.
The improvement that you saw from Bizardo from game 5 to game 4 and what he was outside of game 4, special. And then The Rock. And I got to be honest, when they brought The Rock in, I was nervous because I don't know how that stuff's going to play in relief. The answer is pretty freaking well. Pretty freaking well. He was sensational, and he faced some big boys today, guys. Javi Baez is the scariest Detroit Tiger not named Kerry Carpenter. Kerry Carpenter, I hate you. Okay? I freaking hate you. And it's because I respect you. You were unbelievable in this postseason. You were unbelievable in the postseason the year before that. You clearly have the, what do they do? The ice in the veins? Is that what they do when they make the 3 and now these? Kerry Bonds is real. And when Luis Castillo got Kerry Carpenter to strike out, I was like, oh, okay. There's a really good chance the Seattle Mariners are going to win this game because that was the pocket, right?
Yeah.
And he was fantastic in that pocket. You cannot say enough about this pitching staff. It was so phenomenal to see after yesterday was, Thursday. It feels like yesterday. Feels like yesterday when this game started. He was phenomenal. This pitching staff was so bad on Thursday and so good on Friday or whatever it is. I'm so happy.
Yeah.
I'm so tired too.
Man. I want to shout out Leo Rivas.
Okay, please.
He saved your butts today.
So good. So good. And going to him instead of Luke Raley is one of the best decisions Dan Wilson's made all year. I mean, I saw some people saying, why aren't you going to Harry Ford in that situation? Nah, can't go to Harry Ford in that situation. You go with the platoon situation matters. It just doesn't matter as much when you're as bad as Luke Raley is right now, right? Such a professional hitter. And for him to line that baseball into, and of course you don't go to Luke Raley because it's a lefty. That was like 19 innings ago, so I kind of forgot about what the situation was.
But they had a righty in, and then remember they initially called Dom Canzone, and then when they brought the lefty in, he brought out Dom Canzone instantly for Leo Rivas, which I was not expecting.
I was not either.
As bad as the Spire decision was, and we can talk about that later, that was the absolute right move from Dan Wilson playing chess while AJ Hinch is playing checkers there. Yeah. And it ends up working wonderfully. Yeah, absolutely. And the decision to not just say, well, we already used a guy, we've got to keep the lefty in here. No, you don't. You absolutely do not, especially in that situation where you're down to the nitty gritty, man. A hit. Without that hit, they don't win this game. They just flat out. Not. I mean, that's not hyperbolic at all. They just flat out do not win this game. Oh, it was such a good decision and such a great at bat from Rivas. Rivas took some really good at bats tonight. Really good. He's a guy I think you got to consider off the bench a little bit more now. I think he is a guy that you have to consider, certainly over Luke Raley. But what a great job. And just real quick, I thought AJ Hinch was the best manager in this series. I have a real hard time justifying taking Tarik Skubal out. A real hard time, not at least giving him one more inning and then just going to Vest for 2 because Will Vest is filthy.
I would go 120 pitches. Okay. If I end up losing because of that, I can live with myself.
Yes.
I'm sure glad they did the analytical thing. The analytical thing didn't work there. Did not work there whatsoever. And that's probably the biggest reason that the Seattle Mariners are still playing.
Yeah. I also still, and I mentioned this at the top of the show, I want to quickly shout out. We're going to jump all over the board today because the emotions are running high. Oh. Thank you to everyone who's in the chat with us. If you're listening on 950 KGR, welcome. Appreciate you guys. My name's Anderson Hurst. That's Christopher Crawford. We are the hosts of the Locked On Mariners postcast. We go live after every single Mariner baseball game on YouTube. You can catch more Mariners content with Locked On Mariners with Ty Dingensalz and Colby Patnode. But man, we're talking about an ALCS team right now, which that's pretty cool. We're one of the last 4 teams standing, and I'm excited for Sunday. I have no idea what they're going to do in terms of who's pitching, but I don't care. I don't care. You did, and we've been asking all season to be urgent. Win the game in front of you. Don't worry about. And obviously, it's a little easier to do in an elimination game, but they did it. They absolutely did it. They won the game in front of you. So, lots of emotions running high right now. Tell us how you guys are feeling. Appreciate everyone who's listening. Let's give a quick shout out to our sponsors for today's show, and then we'll be right back. I want to talk a little bit about just some unsung heroes. We do that every single episode. But especially in a 15-inning game, there's going to be people that kind of get lost in the shuffle a little bit. I definitely have one in my mind. I'm curious if Chris has one as well. We'll get to that here in just a second here on the Locked On Mariners postcast. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. The NFL season's here, and FanDuel has your offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5. If it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. FanDuel's awesome. Man, if you would bet that this game was going over on the innings, you would have definitely won a lot of money because, boy, did it go over. And it's the only way Seattle knows how to do elimination games. So we'll continue to look for that moving forward. FanDuel is awesome. It has a great app. It's easy to follow all of your bets, whether you're doing live betting, prop bets, over-unders, money lines, spreads, however you like to get some action in on the game. FanDuel is the best way to do it. So what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Guys, you've probably heard of Viagra or Cialis. Maybe you've even tried them. But if you're looking for something beyond the usual pill, it's time to meet Rougiet Go Long. And that's where Rougiet Go Long comes in. It combines 2 doctor-trusted medications in one dual-action formula. The effects can last up to 36 hours. That's confidence all day, all night, and even into the next day. The process is simple. Connect with a board-certified doctor 100% online, and if prescribed, your treatment ships discreetly right to your door. Ready to level up your confidence in the bedroom? Head to Rougiet.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB for 15% off your first order. That's RUGIET.com, promo code LOCKEDONMLB. Make sure to use our code so that they know that we sent you. Welcome back to the Mariners postcast. As I bring Chris Crawford back in here, Mariners win this one 3-2. They win the series against the Detroit Tigers and move on to the ALCS to face the Toronto Blue Jays. We're not done. We're going to continue suffering through these games as Mariner fans, but boy, I am glad to be suffering at this point of the year. Chris Crawford, let's just do our unsung hero segment now because I'm curious what you have for this game. It's going to be impossible to break down every single moment, every bunt decision, every non-bunt decision, every pitching choice. Like, let's just do some unsung heroes here. So, who stands out to you as someone who maybe gets lost in the fold a little bit?
Oh, there's so much. I'll go with unsung hero because I think I said Bizzardo earlier, but I don't think he's unsung. I'm going to go with Josh Naylor. I thought Josh Naylor played a terrific baseball game and was one of the few guys that I actually trusted at the plate. At one point, the Detroit Tigers threw 247 pitches and the Mariners had 6 hits. Let that number sink in for a little bit. 247 pitches, 6 hits. Naylor had 3 of them and had the most professional at-bats, and it's so great to see, considering how terrible he looked in those first 2 games, justifiably so. But I think Josh Naylor, I know he doesn't end up really playing that big a factor in what they do, except they does, because he gets that double on a pitch way outside the plate. Yes. I totally forgot about that. He steals third, and then Mitch Garver, who could be an unsung hero as well for driving that ball into center field to drive in that run. Did I steal
That's
it?
exactly who I was going to go with.
I love it.
Are you kidding me? There's been a lot of hate from Mitch Garver over the years, and I was one of them. Honestly, I think at some points last year and in certain points this year, his at-bats were just not there. It didn't seem like he really had a role on this team, and the fact that you're starting him at DH in a must-win game, a lot of people had questions about that, but I want to point out that in game, what was it, game 4? Maybe it was game 3, actually. Mitch Garver actually did exactly what he needed to do. No, sorry, it was game 4. With the bases loaded, they pinch hit for him against the lefty. He takes the walk. He gets on base. That's all you're asking for from a pinch hitter at that point. It's Victor Robles who grounds in the double play. We're not talking about game 4. We're talking about game 5 because Victor Robles hits the double. No, sorry, Josh Naylor. Sorry, I get my games mixed up here. Apologies.
That's all right.
So many innings to cover, Chris Crawford. It's hard to remember everything. But Josh Naylor hits the double, steals third base. They were making a big deal about that on the broadcast. It was a check swing double that went 300 feet.
On a 100.2 mile per hour sinker. That was at least 18 inches off the plate.
What?
I have no idea. I mean, that's that adage that people say that velocity helps balls go further. It must, right? Because that ball must have had like rocket fuel attached to it.
Yeah.
Because I have no idea how it gets into that gap. But stealing third, you know who else is an unsung gosh damn hero in this game? The Seattle Mariner crowd was unbelievable tonight. Unbelievable. And one of the reasons he's able to steal third there is that Tarik Skubal can't hear his team yelling, step off, step off. Nope. Can't hear him. So he steals third base, and that gets that run. I'm not surprised the Seattle crowd is awesome. Seattle sports fans are freaking awesome. They're awesome. And they did such an amazing job. I'd be disappointed if they didn't, of course. But they were so good in this game. They stayed in this game. They stayed in a game that was, let's be honest, guys, hella boring for a large portion of the game where teams just didn't do jack crap. But the Seattle Mariner crowd stayed in it, and it's why this is a great sports city that deserves a World Series championship, and you're now one step closer. Let's freaking go.
Yeah. The Mariners won this one 3-2. Jorge Polanco walk-off in the bottom of the 15th inning. I want to shout out my wife, Augustina, real quick, because she was like, they have to win it in the 15th inning because you have to come home at some point. And like this was in like the 12th inning, and I kept telling her the rules. Like, hey, if no one scores, we're going to keep going here. And she was like, all right, by the 15th inning, someone has to finish it off. And it's exactly what happened. Jorge Polanco gets it done after going 0 for 5 before that, but I still had confidence in him.
He took great at-bats tonight. He took great at-bats tonight. I thought really everyone took some really good at-bats tonight, minus one person, and I just don't feel like being negative, so I'm not even going to mention who it is. I think that there were some good at-bats, especially against like there were some balls that got marine layered a little bit. There were some and then that guy's just filthy. That's the best pitcher in the American League, and it's not even freaking close. And the only reason he's not the best pitcher in baseball is because Livy Dunn's boyfriend, Livy, call me. You exist, unfortunately, so you're the best pitcher in baseball. But Skubal's just so good, and I'm so glad we never have to see him pitch against Seattle again. It's a new law. He can't. If you lose 4 times to the Seattle Mariners, you don't get to play anymore.
I'm down for that law. All right. Final thoughts, Chris Crawford. We have like a minute and a half, 2 minutes here. Where, and by the way, before we get to that, you guys will get more content. We'll have Chuck and Buck here on 950 KJR. They're going to break down a little bit more longer form. We're just the initial raw reaction here on the Mariners postcast. You can find us after every single Mariners game. We're going to continue to do them as the Mariners season continues to roll on. But Chris Crawford, last thoughts on this amazing win.
I say this all the time on Molly Watt Monday. I say this all the time on Maya Y, and I've said it a lot on this. Appreciate this, guys. Appreciate this. I know it's hard. I know that there is frustrations that we have with this organization. I know there's frustrations we have with this sport. I know there's frustrations we have with some of these players. Appreciate this because it doesn't happen all that often. You just don't know. You just don't know. And I think they're going to beat the Blue Jays and go to the World Series. But I'm appreciating this. I'm super excited. This is an accomplishment. This is a real accomplishment. It's not the accomplishment, but it's an accomplishment, and I hope everyone appreciates this.
Yeah, enjoy it, guys, because this is just, it's so much fun being a fan of this baseball team right now. I broke down a little bit right as it happened, but like I said, I'm a little exhausted to have such heavy emotions. So hopefully they can give us a regular game to celebrate.
Yeah, that would be okay.
But elimination games in Seattle. I guess this is how we do it, right?
No.
So expect another one later. So
yeah, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with winning Game 6 in Seattle. I don't remember if it's 2-3-2 in the ALCS or not, but this is really fun. I called my grandma right before we started this, and I think Anders could see that I'm just barely keeping this together.
Yeah. Well, now go talk to your grandma. Guys, talk to your loved ones. Continue to enjoy this. We got Chuck and Buck coming next here.
Love you, Chuck and Buck.
We'll be right back. But guys, the Mariners are going to the ALCS. I'll leave it at that.